What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since we updated, but the weather has been really shitty. But we're going to work on the semi and stuff a little bit today. Right now we're trying to patch curtains because, well, not ideal. Not good. I might be ordering a brand new trailer in a couple weeks. When I do, or if I do, I will be making a video on that. So with that being said, we only are trying to just make this one last a couple more months. The trailer itself isn't bad, but the Conestoga is completely shot. And it's not just the curtains, the track, the curtains, the headboard keeps cracking. We welded it a couple times now, both the outside panels and the actual main supports. The curtains are bad, the wheels are bad. Some of the bows are starting to break. I was gonna start going through this Conestoga and fixing a lot of it because it, like when it first started, like some pieces were starting to just start wearing out, and then like everything all at once. This is all mostly within the last 6 months. Like this thing is really falling apart over the winter. It's old. The curtain itself, both trailer and the Conestoga are old, but it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of this. So this is a quick draw. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a big fan of it, but yeah. So we only need to make it last until the new trailer comes and we get a new Conestoga put on. Then we'll probably remove this entire Conestoga off this flatbed and sell the flatbed as just an open flat. Today we're going to try to patch up some of these. This is the worst one in the front. The wind catches them really bad and then it starts tearing them because the tarps are old. They're original tarps from 2017, so they're like 7 or 8 years old. And the wind catches them, so like where they're stitched, they're stitching here on every single one and they're all starting to tear. This is the worst one, and of course it's the front that catches the most wind. So we're using flex tape, which actually has been working pretty good. The only sucky part is I have like a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch to work with to try to stick it on and then try to poke holes through and zip tie it again. It's been like that for probably almost a year now. I patched it and then used zip ties, and it actually has been holding for like 10 months to a year, something like that. But we had to redo it because this week it ripped again. So it's been really windy. This week is also supposed to be really windy, so not ideal. So we got goo gone, and then we bought right in the mud. I bought a 3-pack of these brushes. This one, I don't know what this one's made of, but it's like a little metal brush. I'm gonna try this one first. A little bit stiffer, and then I got like a softer brush, but I don't know if that's gonna take this off. I don't even know if we can use this on the tarps. I've never used glue gun on this stuff before. Like I said, or just need to limp this by, because I'm not sticking. That's not really coming up. I'm not sticking a bunch of money into this kit when it's this shop. I'm gonna be buying a new trailer. You know what I mean?
Got a scrubber. And then once you get most of it, the degreaser should take the rest of it off. It's breaking up.
Probably just go over like this the whole thing and then spray it on some more and let it soak a little bit. Yeah, see, like how little we got to work with to try to stick this on. That's, I think, the worst part of the whole thing. So you kind of try to jam it up in there, clean it good, jam it up in there, and then hopefully it kind of sticks, and then you put zip ties over to help it hold. Like the biggest thing with this is just getting it to hold tight so the wind doesn't get up in it, because that's what rips it more. Morgan took over because she said I was taking too long. I was going too slow, apparently. So we're just basically brushing. You see all the trying to get all the glue from the flex, because this had flex tape on it before. Trying to get some of the goo off so we can re-stick a new patch on. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger than the old one to kind of go around, hopefully, so the edges stay stuck. And then when she's done doing that, we're going to put this stuff on as like a degreaser, hopefully to see if this will work. To try to clean it really well. So we're gonna try to. Morgan got it cleaned up the best she could. Look at So what we're gonna do to try to help us a little bit better, we're gonna try to patch both sides. So I got this small patch I'm gonna stick in here the best that I can. Kind of try to grab it from the back side and just lay this down on top, stick it on, and then we'll patch the outside and then poke a couple holes and some pads. That's what we're gonna do. Is it gonna work? I don't know. All I need to do is last 6 months or 8 months, somewhere in there. Does not need to last forever. Because I really, really do not want to put new tarps on this when I kind of have plans of just ripping the whole thing off. Just think how cool it'd be to unbolt the 2 bolts that hold this whole thing from coming off the back and driving really fast backwards and then slamming on the brakes and watching the whole thing roll off. I've always wanted to do that. So we might. Because this kit's pretty junk, and then I would just probably sell it for parts, part it out basically, because it ain't worth nothing. Gonna do that number, so it kind of grabs the back of it, and then we're going to peel this off. This wind is making it so much harder. Just do that.
Apologies.
You hungry?
Burped.
Oh, is that a burp?
He burped.
Okay. I'll make one for the outside. We're gonna clean the outside real good. To clean it, to dry it, what I found that works really good is brake cleaner, because it dries fast. I guess it really don't matter, but I like the flammable stuff. I think it works better than the non-flammable. We did not get all of it off, because not all of it would come off. So I don't know how well it's going to stick, but anything is better than nothing. It's kind of the way I look at it. Like right here is like really, yeah, see, that's the problem. That's what I was worried about. Son of a bitch. Well, hopefully once I can shove it all back in here and this already came off. That's the problem. There's such a little piece to grab. Hopefully I can make a patch kind of big enough. I might try to go a little higher, but basically get it to stick back here better again, and then poke a couple fresh holes in it, pull it front with zip ties. Okay, so we got most of it kind of reconstructed, I guess, with flex tape. As you can see, this isn't holding here the best, but now I got nice and thick here to hopefully pop a couple holes in, and then I wrap them around and kind of zip tie them through this thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take whatever I do, my screwdriver, laying around here somewhere. I lost it, but take my screwdriver, heat it up with the torch, and then I can push it through, try to make some new holes, try to make some farther back as well. Like I said, basically the zip ties are what's kind of holding the curtain forward, and then this kind of just helps keep it from tearing more. So we're gonna try that. Hopefully this will work. Like I said, doesn't have to last that long. Freaking wind. Okay, so a little update. I poked 3 holes in it this time. Last time, the last one lasted about 8 months or so with 1 hole down here. But now that it's getting worse, we're gonna put 3. We're gonna go around, kind of around, and kind of down to kind of help just basically pull this corner down the best I can. So I'm gonna throw some zip ties in it now, kind of showing you guys what I mean. If you look, we kind of go around this little piece here on the back side of this, because this loops around. This piece goes all the way back here to here, so we can't go around that. So hopefully that makes sense, but I'll show you kind of what I mean when we get this. So like I said, go around underneath this piece, and then I put 1 down kind of underneath to pull down. None of these are tight yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the curtains and tighten them, then I'll snug these up, because it is going to pull back a little bit, because this all has tension on it. This no longer will, so this is going to kind of pull back a little, and then once I get that, I'll tighten everything, and then I'll tighten those where I need to be, and then I'm going to patch up some of these. I'm just going to lay them over top and wrap it around just a little bit. These aren't nearly as important, because these aren't really, that one, like the wind catches it a lot more. Like these ones aren't really tearing as bad. It's something with the way the wind wraps around the front of the trailer. So this is why I don't tighten them up first, because I actually had these ones pretty snug apparently, because this one's tight, this one's tight. I think you see how he's stretching there, full focus. So that one's tight. So really the only one snug up is that top one, and that's it. That's why you don't want to crank them tight, because it stretches. But that is a lot better. But hopefully now with more zip ties and more spots, it'll kind of hold a little better. I might even throw one in here and wrap it around just for a little extra support. But yeah, it just sucks that it rips so close to this, because there's nothing for this to actually really bite to. So this isn't really doing much other than extra support to help it not tear. It's really, yeah, that part sucks. But yeah, I don't know. Flex tape works pretty good. This thing was like 58 bucks for the 25-foot roll, but I will tell you, it works really well for doing curtains. So now I'm gonna leave it tight. I'm gonna cut all those off. I'm gonna leave it tight to patch these, because I want them fully stretched. I'm just gonna kind of lay it over just to help basically stop the wind from going behind it. Like I said, these have been like this for probably 2 years now. And they really haven't gotten much worse. Maybe a tiny bit, but we're not going to do anything other than spray some brake cleaner on it, dry it, and stick a nice little patch over. Basically just cover it to keep the wind out. So we're going to do that, and we're going to be done. Okay, so I just did the last one. The curtains will be all patched up. These little corner ones really aren't doing anything strength-wise, but they just kind of help the wind not get behind them a little bit. Hopefully to help keep the wind out of the inside of it a little bit, to keep it from pushing this back one out. I didn't do anything with the back today, and I'm not gonna, because it's getting too cold. The wind is extremely cold, and my hands are like ice right now, and it's just like, I'm physically not too cold, but my hands are just like ice. They hurt. They're so cold. But yeah, just patch. There's a tiny like wear spot here. I don't know what this one was from, but put a little bit in there. And then the driver's side had most of the little spots. Like I said, these aren't going to help them from tearing. Well, it might a little bit, because it'll help the wind from not getting behind them quite so much. I didn't wrap any of these ones behind. I just did the outside, just so the wind kind of glides over them a little bit better to keep the wind out. And then I'll show you guys the finishing. It got so windy. And then this one. Sorry for all the wind noise. It is super windy. I also heated this up with the torch to help it stick a little bit better. The wind would stop. I had to clean my tire up a little bit yet quick. But not the prettiest, but it'll keep the wind out, especially with this week going to be super windy. So yeah, high winds aren't great. And then especially when you gotta try to do 70 miles an hour, 65, 70 miles an hour on the highway. They like to, it's really hard on the curtains, especially now. Like these, I said, are getting dry because they're old. They tear super easy. Not ideal on windy days. So only the last couple more months. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I promise more interesting videos are coming. Be patient. The weather sucks up here in Wisconsin yet. We're getting close, but it's coming. Peace.